Hello. The Divine Code reading for October 28th, pages 185 and 186. We are in the chapter Annulment of Vows and Promises, topic number 4. How is the oath annulled? A person who took the oath says before those who are annulling it, I took an oath concerning such and such, and I have changed my mind. If I had known that I would feel such discomfort concerning this matter, or that such and such a thing would happen to me as a result, I would not have taken the oath. If at the time of the oath my understanding was as it is now, I would not have made the oath. So the person is retroactively looking back, knowing what he knows today. If he had realized these things, if he had realized the consequences of the oath, if he had realized what all was going on at the time he made the oath, he would not have made the oath. He has to be able to have a new perspective, a new awareness of all the factors that would have been available if they had been available to him, if that awareness had been available to him at the time of taking the oath. He would have made a different decision. Those who are annulling the oath say to him, have you already changed your mind? He answers, yes. They then say to him, the thing is permitted to you, or the promise is released for you, or the like, with the intent and in any language. This is the wording of Rambam in the Laws of Oaths 6:3, and it could be proven from the Jerusalem. It could be proven from the Jerusalem Talmud, Tractate Nazar, that one needs to identify an opening for establishing that there is regret, without which the scholar cannot annul the vow. So there has to be something that can be identified as a factor. If he had realized this particular factor at the time of making the vow, he would have not made the vow. There is no annulment for a vow unless the one who makes the vow regrets it and rescinds, declaring, if I had known what I know now, or if I would have thought about this at the time of my vow, I would not have made it, and rescinds his vow in the presence of the court or the one annulling it. Whether one comes forward to request an annulment for his own accord, or if he initiates the annulment and asks him, if another initiates the annulment and asks him, if you had known such and such at the time of your vow, would you have made it? And he answers no. This is an opening for the court to annul the vow. The court is ruling that the person made the mistake when he vowed by not realizing the truth of the situation, including possible negative outcomes that could result. So earlier we learned that if the person at the point of taking the vow had immediately regretted it, if he realized as it's coming out of his mouth that he was saying something that he didn't want to hold to, he could rescind it if he does so immediately. Or if another person intervenes at that point, when the other person hears him saying the vow, and the other person says, you don't want to do this," and the person making the vow rescinds the vow immediately, then the vow is voided out at that point. However, if later on the person realizes, he thinks it through better and realizes that it was a mistake, or if his friend tells him later on, "Gee, you shouldn't have made that vow yesterday," or that vow that was made, the person should not have made the vow, then that gives the opportunity for the person making the vow to think it through. When he has the opportunity to think it through, then he has the opportunity to go before the court and have the vow rescinded. But it has to be explained in a logical manner at that point. However, if he says that he does not regret his vow, it is impossible to release him from it. Even if one regrets the vow at the current point in time, but does not regret it from the time of acceptance, and says that what he promised was good until now, and only in the future does he want release from it, he cannot receive atonement. So if he made a vow, if a person makes a vow, and at the time that they make the vow makes sense. Let's say the person says he's going to give $1 a day to a charity, and for the first 30 days that he gives $1 a day to the charity, he feels very good about it. But then it starts to cut into his the money he needs for something else. So he regrets that he made the vow to continue, but he doesn't regret the initial vow. He feels good about that, and he feels good about it being a long-term thing, except now it's something he wants to get out of because his life feels differently. Well, if he made the vow and he doesn't regret it, the initial making the vow of giving $1 a day without, for a year, and he doesn't regret originally saying that he's going to give $1 a day for the year, and after 30 days he changes his mind, but he doesn't feel bad about giving the initial vow. He can't. There's nothing to rescind the vow. There's no traction to say, okay, he regrets saying that he's going to give the $1 a day for a year. Then the vow stays. But if he says to the court, well, I didn't do the math. I didn't realize that $1 a day for a year would be over $300. Then the court's going to say, well, then the court would have traction to say, okay, he regrets the vow from the beginning and could annul the vow. And see, Shokan Arak Eurodea 228:7. Therefore, if the person himself does not express regret that he made his vow, the court must discuss the matter thoroughly to see if there is an opening by which to say that he does indeed regret his vow to begin with or not. And they should delve deeply into the matter and not hasten to annul the vow. Shokan Arak Eurodea 228:4. So if the situation comes up and he says, I don't feel bad about making the vow. He doesn't feel bad about making the vow to give $1 a day to charity for a year, but he wants to get out of it after a month. Now the court has to realize there's something odd about this. If he wants to get out of the vow after a month, out of a 1-year vow, it doesn't make logical sense that he does not regret making the vow to begin with, and therefore they should investigate more fully. They should ask him more questions and see, well, maybe he really does regret it. Or if it seems that he says he regrets it, but maybe he doesn't really regret it, the court has to actually determine what his thoughts are regarding the initial vow and whether or not he still agrees with the logic that he used with the initial vow. Don't just take the surface, what seems on the surface, because when we're dealing with a vow, we're dealing with something very deep within the person that makes the vow. And the court has to dig down deep enough to make sure that they're getting to the root of the question. Topic number 5. The following rules apply when a person took an oath and does not regret it, and he came before a court to carry out his oath. If the judges see that releasing the oath will lead to a good result, or the end of feuding, such as making peace between husband and wife, or between two colleagues, and carrying it out, on the other hand, will lead to transgressions and strife, they encourage the person to take the option of having his oath annulled. They should discuss the matter with him, pointing out the negative consequences of his oath until he regrets that he made it. If he changes his mind because of their words, they should release his oath. If he does not change his mind and upholds his oath, he must carry it out. What is implied? If a person took an oath that he would divorce his wife, he should tell them. They should tell him, if you divorce your wife, you will cause malicious gossip to circulate concerning her children. For people will say, why was this mother of the children divorced? Or it is possible that she may become remarried to another. If he says, if I had realized this, I would not have taken the oath, they annul his oath. If he says, all the same, I have no regret, and this is what I want, the court is unable to release him from the oath. The Rambam, the Laws of Oaths, 6, 10, and 11. So the court investigates, as was seen in the previous topic. The court investigates to try to get to the root of the matter. If the court sees the logic, that if the person had realized the logic at the time he made the oath, he should not have taken the oath. The court sees this. They go to the person and they say, listen, this is the logical reasoning that the person should not have made the oath. The person now has a choice between either accepting the logical reasoning that the court sees, or rejecting it. If he accepts it, then because it's based on logical reasoning that would have applied at the time he made the oath, then the court can annul the oath. The oath, it's like it never happened. If the person does not accept what the court is saying and says, no, he still wants to hold to the oath, or he still agrees with his own logic that he had at the time of the oath, he doesn't regret it, then the court does not annul the oath, and the oath holds, and he has to carry through with whatever he vowed. Thank you.